All right, he doesn't know what he's doing. You fatso, punch your baby in the face.
I did good, Meg.
Shut up.
Shut up, Meg. Everyone is familiar with the famous dialogue being repetitively said in the show The Family Guy, right? Even if you have not, give us a few minutes to provide details about this great adult animated show of all time. The show has over 20 amazing seasons and has been running since 1999. Being a show that was cancelled and brought back, it has been doing a marvellous job for the audience. Let us ride down the road to find out why Meg is the most hated character in the show. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small clip for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
That's your father. Oh, get out, Meg. Get out of the kitchen. Go on, get out. Out.
What are the signs that suggest Meg was treated horribly? The show introduces us to a typical dysfunctional family, with Peter as the man of the house, his wife Lois, the talking dog Brian, the middle child Chris, the talking infant Stewie, and finally the laughing stock and Peter's non-biological daughter, Meg. Meg is the one towards whom all the mockery, abuse and insults are directed. We see a confused family where in one episode you may find Peter teaches Meg how to endure a boyfriend's fart by farting in her face. On the other hand, Peter tries to reason with the bad guys to get Meg out of trouble. Meg is initially seen as a sweet, innocent and finer person. Still, her character is soon narrowed to a desperate teen doing all she can to fit in and receive love and affection, only until she eventually goes on a killing spree. She was once the family's most unwanted, bullied and mistreated person. Even the stuffed toys used to avoid her. Lois frequently packed her lunch with trash and did her laundry with Stewie's diapers. She's kicked out of the house, tripped by her father, and is the target of all the criticisms, jokes and insults. The consistent mistreatment she receives by her drives her desperation to extremes, where she pretends to be a lesbian to make friends and makes ridiculous attempts to get into romantic relationships. The rest of the family, including Brian and Lois, treats her most normally in the show. Her parents, though, never find common ground with Meg to begin normal conversations. Peter and Meg significantly lack any mutual interests. Hence, Peter usually avoids her and spends time with his son. One of the main reasons why Peter dislikes Meg is because she is supposed to be the daughter of an unknown character, Stan Thompson. Meg is brutally insulted and bullied by everyone for her social appearance too. She is teased for her weight and the ugly personality that she carries. Apart from her family, her neighbours and schoolmates blatantly shame and dislike her. Meg even went to prison for hiding her boyfriend. On her return, she became the scary, potentially dangerous and tough sociopath. Consequently, Meg severely beats up her father, Peter, and replaces him as the head of the house. She drives everyone out of her way and eventually every family member becomes frightened of her. On returning, she vents and takes out her frustration and anger because of the abuse she had suffered at everyone's hands.
Craig Hoffman said that? Well, he's a sharp kid. You might be ugly.
In the show, Meg was the unwanted child. Looking into her origin story, Meg was an unwanted and unplanned child. In one of the episodes where the logic seems to have been trampled upon to show the fun element, Meg's male genitals were accidentally chopped off after birth, which turned her into a female. She was an unwanted child once her parents left her stranded and aloof at a fire station as a baby. In addition, she was unplanned. Lois and Peter never planned to have children. It was revealed in the episode The Truth About Meg that Lois went to a party and got drunk. There she met Stan Thompson and slept with him. The protection did not work, so Meg was born. Lois and Peter have been covering the truth from society.
Gross! Will you stop?
Hey, Meg, I lit your scalp on fire.
Her appearance was purposely made weird. Meg's appearance was one of the primary reasons for her ill treatment. Stereotyping and Meg not being feminine and girly enough are other reasons for the insults by her schoolmates. There are various tantrums thrown at her. They include bad-mouthing about her weight, although she weighed the same as her mother, her monotonous appearance with the glasses, googly eyes, a hat on her head, and pale outfits sometimes were the talk of the show to laugh at. Moreover, the episodes themselves reflect how her looks sometimes made her the target. In one of the episodes, where some abductors got into the house and the entire family is forced into hiding, Peter and Lois send Meg to a task to seduce them. Though Meg was abducted in the process, the abductors refused to assault her sexually, citing her unattractiveness as one of the main reasons. Instead, they informed her parents that they would take Peter and Lois' son in her place. The kidnappers also said that they took Meg for a boy.
Grape juice in a Ziploc bag?
I have to make my own Capri Suns.
She was socially awkward and hated by all in school. Prominently, her social awkwardness comes from her longing to be part of the crowd and being constantly pushed further away after every attempt. She follows unusual ways of making friends and boyfriends. The constant abuse and bullying she endured at the hands of her schoolmates made her hungry for affection. It made her cross the line to get people to notice her, such as kidnapping, being far from reality, never being grounded, and many other activities.
No sale.
Come on, I'm pretty!
Did the showrunners not understand the psychological views of a teenage girl? Surprisingly, no evident reason is given directly or indirectly as to why Meg endured all the abuse over the years. Meg is comparatively the most normal family member. She's a typical teenager who is expected to live under constant pressure to meet the set standards of society. The show's writers have cunningly and artfully designed the character so that their target audience gets all the more reasons to sympathise with her. Her character arc is sketched as someone eager for love and attention and tries very hard to fit in with people but eventually fails. The thin and flowing consistency of the regular hurling insults at her is maintained to hear the audience say, "Same girl, same." The storyline is stuffed with sweet moments where things seem to return to peace and there are scattered showers of love and hope. However, it does not stop to keep the audience intact. Another reason to keep Meg as the butt of the jokes is to maintain the dark humour effect in the show. The effect often touches the extremes and sometimes goes beyond them. Nevertheless, the show's writers keep it up to maintain the comedy in the show. The true intention of the writers is to sustain the show for all the laughs and giggles it provides. Hence, it should be consumed in the same manner humour.
I'm exhausted.
Now where was I? Oh yeah.
Dad! Get away!
Is Meg hated because of her annoying personality traits? For a moment, if we do not focus on just the tip of the iceberg, Meg has also been shown as one with a socially awkward personality. In one of the episodes, Peter finally teaches Meg how to drive after ignoring her requests for some time. He damages the television transmitters of the entire Quahog. Peter makes Meg take all the blame and she cannot speak for herself because she lacks self-confidence. Another deeper analysis could be the family behavioural pattern and the factors that shape and influence their relationships. For instance, when Lois introduces Meg to modelling, she wears revealing clothes. In response, Peter and Lois say that they would enjoy themselves by looking at the photos of Meg. When Meg says the same thing regarding her parents, she is labelled as gross and told to stay out of the house. If we look deeply into it, the repetitive incidents and insults have somehow normalised the fact that Meg should be mistreated. All the factors further underpin that Meg should be subjected to such traumatic experiences repetitively.
Out of prison.
Hey Meg, what'd they put you in jail for? Being ugly?
Is it actually a reflection of society? The writers have carefully shown and depicted Meg's condition so that the viewers can see their problems and similar experiences smaller than Meg's. The larger and more humiliating experience that Meg goes through gives the viewers some security because their traumatic experiences would still be smaller in comparison. Only those in that position can understand this kind of speculation, and those directly targeted by the writers and their several layered plots. Moreover, Meg being the most normal member of the house makes her even more despicable because human beings can easily lash out at certain things and people to which they do not relate or understand. She has not done anything inappropriate and is stretching her limbs to get people to love her. Looking too much into the bonds between the Griffin family members shows their inability to deal with situations normally. The family members sometimes show their kinder side to each other, and most of the time they are hard on Meg. Even though Chris often goes to Meg for advice and suggestions, she's constantly taunted by him for her inability to sustain her romantic relationships. Therefore, people living with a typical dysfunctional family can relate to the show more deeply.
Now who's the funniest?
I know my way around a joke.
All in good humour. Meg, now voiced by Mila Kunis, is an essential character in the sitcom. Her character trait is similar to that of Brian's. You might notice that in several episodes where Brian fails to be the one who influences others and reasons with them with his good words, Meg takes hold of the situation. The audience can always find something in every episode to align their experiences and story with hers. Hence, the great secret of why Meg is the most hated character on the show stems from various theories developed by interpretations made on the surface and under the surface levels. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
I gotta take a whiz.
Yeah, I got a whiz too.